Well, you've heard it said you have to make hay while the sun shines, right? And there is an Anchorage politician, Garen Tarr, who is now trying to make some political hay out of a situation which really, honestly, I'm not sure how you would have stopped it. If you recall, the fellow from Anchorage is actually a former military fellow who took a gun from Anchorage down to Florida, where he went to the baggage claim, took the gun out, and just started shooting people. And it's been questioned why he was allowed to have that gun, especially since he had already gone to the FBI and said, hey, I'm hearing voices. I'm being controlled by government agents trying to get me to kill people. I think I'm being influenced by ISIS, by terrorists. And the question really shouldn't be why was he allowed to have a gun, as much as the question I think should be why is it that other people feel like it's their right to take away people's guns? Now, look, the fact that he had a gun and that he was unstable mentally, well, you know what? How many people do you know that have knives that are unstable mentally, or scissors, or a pen? I mean, if a person is unstable mentally, it doesn't really matter what they are, quote, armed with if they are going to go off the deep end. Now, having something like a gun where you can kill more people than just one, obviously, people feel this need to try to step in and do something about it. But this law that's being introduced by an Anchorage lawmaker, this is here in Alaska. I mean, think about it. This is where I think virtually everybody has a gun, is saying that a family member can simply request a judge take away somebody else's guns because they fear for their mental state. Now, whether it's going to gain traction, I don't know. But I want to ask the question. I want to ask the question for me, but also for you. At what point can you judge another person's mental state? At what point can you judge whether somebody else is a danger to themselves or others? Do you really know? I mean, it seems to me like this is the kind of thing that is fraught with problems, especially when you get into situations where somebody has a grudge against somebody else, or where somebody is really just doesn't like someone, or maybe they do feel scared, but they don't have any proof of anything actually happening. They just, all I have to do is just now take a claim down and get this person well, it doesn't even have to be committed. Right now, currently in Alaska law, if you are committed for mental situation, not just an evaluation, but they're like, yeah, you know, you really ought not to be walking around in public, then they take away your guns. To think that now we're going to widen that and just have an accusation and just under the suspicion that a person might not be, you know, all there, virtually everybody I know who's a veteran is going to qualify for that. I mean, think about it. How many dysfunctional veterans do you know? People who are wrestling with their own demons, whether it's from their time in service in Vietnam or whether it's from their time in service in Iraq and Iran. I mean, even in my case, Bosnia, dodging landmines. Do you know what I'm saying? This question here of gun control ought not to be who should have guns, who should be allowed to have guns, but why it is that people are not getting care for their mental issues. That's my 2 cents. What do you think? Send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. Let's engage in the subject a little bit. If you like what I'm doing, you want to see me do it more, maybe expand it a little bit, why don't you consider supporting me either through a direct subscription at radiofreespeech.com or by becoming a partner through Patreon. Other options as well. If you email me, I'll tell you more. steve@radiofreespeech.com. Thanks.